It's the Superhuman television show. Your guide to living beyond 100 years in good health. Now, here's your hosts, Carl Lanore and Tony Vanetti.
Hi, everybody. Thanks for joining us today. We're here every day at noon on WBNA. Thanks for joining us on this journey of life. I am Tony Vanetti. I have a radio show on 790 AM. I hope you listen to it. It's about sports, and it's later this afternoon at 3 o'clock. So please join me for that. And this is...
I'm Carl Lanore, and I host the internationally syndicated radio show Superhuman Radio, which is really similar to this TV show in nature, but just a little bit more scientific and technical. And you can find that at superhumanradio.com if you want to learn more about that. We got a great subject to talk about today, Tony.
But first, I want to remind everybody, you know, the whole point of this show is to live into your well over 100.
And be healthy. And
be healthy. Because some people do, seriously, Carl, they say, I don't want to live over 100.
That's right.
How many times have you heard that from people and are like, you know what, I'm not sure I want to live to be 110.
And that's because they're not doing well at 60
right.
and 70, and they think to themselves, oh my gosh, when I hit 80 or 90, I'm going to be in terrible, terrible shape. But the reality is that you don't have to get sicker as you get older. Aging is going to happen. We're not saying that we're going to keep you from aging. But aging does not have to be debilitating, and it doesn't have to rob you of the life that you have in front of you. And those are the things that we're going to be talking about and searching in this show.
Yes, and again, Halloween is coming soon, okay? So you just started watching this show, so we're going to ask you this Halloween season. It's the start of the holidays, Carl. Look, you got to have a plan for the holidays when you eat, okay? No more just going, well, I'll get through the holidays and we'll start after the holidays. Right. No, 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 no. This is not a New Year's resolution we're going to start, and we'll get to that all this month. But we're going to give you a game plan. A goal without a plan is a wish. All right, you got to have a game plan for the holidays, which includes the start, which is Halloween candy all over the house.
Absolutely.
Okay.
And every show that we've done thus far, you've heard me say the word inflammation, inflammation,
yes.
inflammation.
Yes.
And we're going to address inflammation today, and we're going to show you how you can find out what your own inflammatory markers are and get control of them. Now, keep in mind, Tony, that inflammation is important to the body. It's not all bad. Your body needs inflammation to repair itself.
Okay.
When you have an injury.
Like a fever?
No. That's different.
Okay.
Inflammation is a cellular response to a stress.
Okay.
And the body feels like it needs to think of inflammation as the sirens going off.
Okay.
The sirens tell you there's a problem, and then you go and see what the problem is, and you take care of it. You put the fire out, you get rid of the smoke or whatever. Well, inflammation is are the cells telling the body, we have a problem, we need help. Send in something to clear up the metabolic debris. Send in the things that we need to repair the tissue. You have inflammation after a workout.
Right.
Okay, that's what that soreness is.
Right.
So you don't want to get rid of all inflammation. The problem is that the majority of people in this country have gone beyond healthy inflammatory response into what's known as chronic inflammation. And chronic inflammation is related to every single disease that we talk about and that we will learn about in the future as it goes with metabolic disorders.
This is at a cellular level?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And all over your body?
And when your cells are inflamed, they can't communicate.
This is why you get old, right?
No, I don't know. This is not why you get old, but this is why you get sick when you get old.
Okay, got it.
Because you become chronically inflamed for a variety of reasons, and your body just can't cope with it. Now, there are a lot of diseases associated with chronic inflammation, and this is a brief list of them. Type 2 diabetes has been linked to chronic inflammation. Autoimmune diseases we've talked about. Arthritis. We now know that it's not mechanical loading of the joints that deteriorates cartilage. It is actually the inflammation attacking and destroying the cartilage. Heart disease and cardiomyopathies, Alzheimer's disease, allergies. Every cancer is associated with some form of misaligned, inappropriate inflammatory response. Okay. Myalgia is like fibromyalgia and so on. Acne. And this is the newest one.
Why acne?
Because that's an inflammatory response in the skin.
Okay.
But this is the one that's really intriguing to me. We have just now discovered that there are a host of people out there who suffer from depression as a secondary response to chronic inflammation. The body thinks it's sick because it's chronically inflamed, and when your body is sick, what does it want you to do? It wants you to lay down, stop moving, rest.
Sleep.
Well, but the problem is all the sleep and all the rest doesn't make the inflammation go away, so you stay depressed.
All right, is this a genetic case?
No. This is, again, something as a result of what you're exposed to. Now, keep in mind, as we talked about in the show, that you're not a hostage to your genes. There are some people who do better and are some people who do worse in a chronically inflamed environment.
Okay.
As we see, some people don't develop cancers when they're chronically inflamed. Some people don't develop myalgias. But that doesn't mean that we all can't benefit from where we are right now to where we could be health-wise by understanding inflammation and getting it under check.
What causes inflammation?
Okay, lots of things cause inflammations, and I think that we have another slide that we could put up, but these are the real culprits that we deal with in today.
Okay.
Diet. The foods that we eat. We talked about lectins and anti-nutrients being pro-inflammatory. We talked about grains being pro-inflammatory.
Got it.
Lack of physical activity, which leads to obesity as well. Just being obese causes a concentration of the wrong type of fatty acids, which lead to inflammation. Environmental toxins like pesticides and so on. Chemical irritants, infection, stress. Tony, you've talked about stress all the time.
Yes.
Alcohol, another one, and ionizing radiation. And we're going to talk more about ionizing radiation as we get into this. We're going to have to take a break, I'm being told.
Okay, right. So inflammation will be a reoccurring topic on this show, so we're going to cover it all today. What causes it? How can you avoid it?
Yes.
Okay, folks, so stay tuned. This is important. And how do we reverse this thing, all right?
That's right.
Tony Vanetti, Carl Lanore. It's Superhuman Television on WBNA. Back after this.
Your body knows what it wants. It wants to feel stronger, work harder, act faster, and think sharper. Give your body more nutrients, more antioxidants, more protection, more of what it wants. Try Live On Lab's liposomal vitamin C today, risk-free, and give your body the nutrients to support your overall health, without jitters, without side effects. Order online at liveonlabs.com.
We are back. Superhuman Television. Tony Vanetti and Carl Lanore. Inflammatory. That's what we're talking about today. And
inflammatory markers.
What does it cause? How is it caused? We talked about that. And then what can we do to? How do we know? By the way,
that's the important question, right? Inflammation is not something that shows up easily in your body. It's not easily identified. Now, I will tell you this. One of the miraculous things that will happen to you if you get your chronic inflammation under control is you'll lose weight, because inflammation causes a phenomenon called edema. Edema attracts fluid. So your body holds water when it's chronically inflamed. People who get their inflammation under control without even wanting to go, you know, it's really funny. I started changing these things and I lost like 8 pounds. How could that be? Well, guess why? A gallon of water weighs 8 pounds.
Okay, what does the average person have a problem with? Does everybody have this problem?
I would
say at a different level?
I would say that 99% of the American population is suffering from some form of chronic inflammation, yes.
Chronic inflammation?
Yes.
Okay.
And it's hard to get out of the way of it because of the environment, because of the foods that we're eating. So I would say that you could be a rare person who's not chronically inflamed, but I'm saying that you are.
And you're irritating the chronic inflammatory by the toxins that we put in our body.
You're producing the inflammation by these things.
Okay, you're producing.
So how do you find out how severe your inflammation is?
Right.
Well, guess what? It comes back to blood work. You go have blood tests done. You want to have these 4 tested for sure. C-reactive protein, high sensitivity testing is the first one. Interleukin 6, interleukin 8, and anti-nuclear antibody screening. These 4 tests will give you a snapshot of just how inflamed your body really is.
Okay, people aren't going to remember that when they go to their doctor. What do I say to my doctor when I go in?
You say that I want to get tested to see what the chronic inflammation state of my body is.
Okay.
And as a minimum, they'll test C-reactive protein, which I'm happy with. That's good. That's a great place to start. If you have rheumatoid arthritis already, or if you're prone to rheumatoid arthritis in your family, you want to check interleukin 8 as well.
Okay.
Because that is the RA link.
Okay.
But you need to start somewhere. Start with CRP. Start with C-reactive protein.
Okay, what age am I looking at here? Do 20-somethings have
I would say in your
chronic
30s, you're going to really start to pay attention to your chronic. Because when you're young, the body is so robust, it has the ability to overcome so much. So much. It's like a brand new car, right?
Yeah.
You get a brand new car, you drive it like an animal, boom, 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 and it holds together. When that car is 3 or 4 years old, if you continue to drive it like that, all of a sudden you notice it creaks.
Yeah.
And this now this is making noise, things
Yes.
are starting to rattle.
Yeah.
The body is the same way. When you're young, if you get this message when you're young and you take care of yourself, you'll actually be ahead of the game.
Right.
But I would say when you start getting into your 30s, you have to start paying attention to chronic inflammation.
Right. Got it. So I'm 44. Am I getting? Should I ask? I know. Look, I get everything tested at the end of the year or at the beginning of the year. Should I ask this? I'm 44. Should I say test me for the chronic inflammation?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. Because let's say your chronic inflammation on a scale of 1 to 10 is a 4. Because you're doing all the right things. That still means that you can get it down to a 2 or a 1.
Yes, sir. Okay, got it.
And the more you suppress chronic inflammation, the longer you will live because the less wear and tear to your body. Think of inflammation as stress and wear and tear to your body.
At a cellular level, again.
Exactly.
It is a response that the body has to try to fix whatever's wrong.
Yes, the body's job is to fix things, but when it gets all of these foreign obstacles, objects in the body through
Like
nutrition.
grain.
Yes, or
He hates bread and grain. I'm
pesticides, alcohol. I'm sorry to tell you, look, I'm a big fan of red wine because I love the way it makes me feel and I love the taste of it.
But there's a ton of antioxidants in wine.
No.
No?
I don't buy that. No.
Oh, come on.
No, look.
We're both Italian. My great-grandfather
I am not gonna
drank
lie.
a glass of wine
That's
with every
right.
meal and lived to be 96.
But he would have lived to be 106 if he didn't do it. Okay?
Sorry.
Don't be misled by the message out there by the alcohol companies that a little bit of alcohol is good for you. If it's good for you, give it to your baby. Give it to your dog and cat too. Because you won't do that. You won't give it to your baby and you won't give it to your dog and cat because you know it's not good for you. We consume alcohol because of the drug-like effects. It gives us a buzz, makes us friendly, makes us happy.
Carl forgets he lives in Kentucky. People give their beer to their dogs and their kids.
No, I drink
kidding.
wine from time to time. But I don't lie to myself and say that it's going to extend my life because it's not. Okay? I want to make that point.
But what's the whole dark grapes, the antioxidants? Come on.
You know what? There's some nutritive value in the undigested pin oats and horse manure, but I wouldn't eat horse manure to get that. Okay? All right. And there's horses here in Kentucky, too. Okay? So the reality is that once you have your inflammatory markers understood, then what can you do to get them under control?
Right. What's the process here to keep the
First and foremost, you have to remove the insults, okay? You have to get rid of the toxins, you have to get rid of the grains, you have to get rid of the things.
Oh, there's cod liver oil again.
Ah, yes.
Oh,
but now look,
yeah.
here are the 4 supplements that you should embrace if you're worried about inflammation. Fish oil or cod liver oil, omega-3 fatty acids have been shown to suppress inflammation on a genetic level. They suppress 2 types of inflammatory response. We've all heard of cyclooxygenase because of all the COX inhibitors that people had heart attacks from.
Okay.
Well, fish oil and or cod liver oil will suppress cyclooxygenase, but they'll also suppress a new one we're discovering, which is lipooxygenase, which apparently has an inflammatory bad guy too. The other thing is curcumin, okay, ginger, and white willow bark. All 4 of these together will
get tree bark now?
No, white willow bark is where they got aspirin from, my friend.
Okay.
It's better than taking aspirin. If your doctor tells you to take a baby aspirin, take white willow bark instead. It won't destroy the lining of your stomach.
Is there anything about allergies in this too also?
Well, allergies are caused by inflammatory response.
That's what I'm saying. Everyone has allergies in the state of Kentucky.
And that means there's a lot of inflammation here. If you get your inflammatory response in control, then your immune system can react properly. So those 4 things.
You're telling me if I feed cod liver oil to my kid, it'll help him with his allergies?
Absolutely. Absolutely. It's not going to happen overnight. It's going to take a couple weeks.
How bad does cod liver oil taste?
It tastes good. The lemon-flavored one from
Shoe
Carlson.
or cod liver oil? Take a choice.
Cod liver oil. Yeah, cod liver oil.
Back after this. We got a great topic going on today. Tony Vanetti, Carl Lanore, Superhuman Television on WBNA.
Superhuman Television will return after these messages.
Your body knows what it wants. It wants to feel stronger, work harder, act faster, and think sharper. Give your body more nutrients, more antioxidants, more protection, more of what it wants. Try Live On Lab's liposomal vitamin C today, risk-free, and give your body the nutrients to support your overall health, without jitters, without side effects. Order online at liveonlabs.com.
Hey, welcome back to Superhuman Television. I'm Carl Lanore. This is Tony Vanetti. And so we've been telling people, Tony, that they need to start eating paleo.
Yeah.
And we tried to give an outline of what, an easy paleo menu would be. But let's
by the way, that's almost impossible. Easy and paleo. It's not very easy. I mean, you've got to work at it.
No, and that's why we're going to do a series of cookbooks that I've found to be very, very informative and produce really good food while sticking to paleo.
And to my point at the beginning of the show, because I've told people, here's what you need to do when they ask advice on what to eat. And I get some, and at the end of my little statement, people will look at you and they'll go, wow, that seems like a lot of work. And
yeah,
like,
right.
Well, yeah, it is. If you want to see results, you've got to plan your day. Again, a goal without a plan is a wish. I wish to lose weight or feel better. Or plan a little bit of your life, and you will feel better. The paleo.
And the good news about planning is this: you just have to do it for a couple of weeks, and then it becomes habit.
Yes.
Then you don't have to start thinking about it. But we have a really great cookbook by Julie and Charles Mayfield called Quick and Easy Paleo Comfort Foods. For those of you who love Southern food, this book is for you. They have fried chicken. They have chicken strips right on the
cover.
Guess what those chicken strips are coated with instead of flour?
Well, not breadcrumbs.
Crumbled pork rind.
Okay, because you hate bread. There's
right.
No breadcrumbs.
There's no grain. There's no legumes in this book. But everything
now,
is
where would I buy that?
Anywhere. Amazon.com, Barnes & Noble.
No, not the book, but the crumbs, not the.
Oh no, you just buy a bag of pork rinds
and just crush them up. And
they
put
show
them on the chicken?
They show you how to do it. You crush it up. You use it as flour
That's
instead.
That's an awesome idea.
But they have the best foods in this book. If you love Southern food, if you love comfort food, if you're one of those people who goes, oh, I don't think I can do paleo for very long because there's certain foods I love, you're going to find those foods in this book.
Right.
And everything in this book, Tony, to the ladies out there, start to on the table 30 minutes or less. So there's no excuse now, well, it takes too long to do this.
That's important. No. That is important. The time frame of trying to get something on the table for your family. Again, if you're going to try the paleo diet and feel better, there are so many people that I know that have gone to this thing. And again, it is some work. You've got to eliminate a lot of foods that are on the table and in the grocery store. But you go to this diet, and you have to buy these books because you've got to have some ideas. On what to eat, because you're looking at meal after meal after meal. This isn't just dinner. I mean, you're not just cooking the paleo diet for your family for dinner. You want this to be breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Right,
and another good point. My attitude about cookbooks is this. If I buy a cookbook I think this book is $16, okay?
Yeah.
Okay. If I buy a cookbook like this for $16 and I get 2 recipes out of it that I use regularly, that's a win. Because keep in mind, it's been researched. The average person eats 9 different things a week. They eat the same 9 things every week, week in and week out. Once you find something now don't forget, you'll change it up like seasonally, you'll go for this or that. But the average person eats 9 different things a week. If you find one recipe in a book like this, that's one of the 9 you don't have to even think about.
No, I mean, everyone has their routines. You have spaghetti nights, taco nights. When I was growing up, Mom had meatloaf night. And listen, I love you, Mother, but the meatloaf was awful. Terrible meatloaf. So, everyone gets in their routine, and you're exactly right. Everyone eats the same 7 or 8 meals over and over and over again.
Yes.
Who wouldn't get sick of what they're eating?
And that's the key to a cookbook like this. So you want to be able to enjoy food. You don't want to have to divorce yourself completely from flavor. You've become accustomed to eating certain foods. If you're a fan of Southern-style cooking and you want to cook like Paula Deen, but you want to stay alive and not have to be on insulin and stuff, then this is the book for you. Quick and Easy Paleo Comfort Foods from Julie and Charles Mayfield. All these meals are prepared from start to finish in under 30 minutes. There's no excuse anymore. There you go. Look, those chicken strips look so good. I mean, I'm hungry looking at those. And there's no flour on them, but they're so enjoyable.
Plus, again, it will help you with the topic we have today, which is the chronic inflammatory
Right, because
disease.
when you get these pro-inflammatory foods out of your diet, that's one thing to removing the insult and getting inflammation under control. Then getting yourself away from toxicants and irritants, minimizing the amount of alcohol you drink. exercising more, all these things will reduce inflammation, and those 4 supplements we recommended.
Okay, plus we'll have a listener question coming up next, right? So
Yes.
you can get these listener questions to superhumanradio.com and send us an email. It's Superhuman Television, though, right here with Tony Vanetti and Carl Lanore on WBNA.
Superhuman Television will return after these messages.
Your body knows what it wants. It wants to feel stronger, work harder, act faster, and think sharper. Give your body more nutrients, more antioxidants, more protection, more of what it wants. Try Live On Lab's liposomal vitamin C today, risk-free, and give your body the nutrients to support your overall health, without jitters, without side effects. Order online at liveonlabs.com.
Welcome back, Superhuman Television. Tony Vanetti, Carl Lanore. We have some listener questions. Soon coming, what would we have? Superhumantelevision.com. But do you want to get the questions to us now? Your radio show and your website is
Superhumanradio.com for now, until next week.
Okay. All right, so we have a question that's been sent to us. After watching your TV show, I found your radio show online. Where are we here? I found your show online. I listened to one... I disagree with doctors routinely suggesting, you said that you disagree.
He said, I listened to one of your interviews where you said you disagree with doctors routinely suggesting that their patients get a colonoscopy after 50 years of age.
That's crazy to me. Of course you get a colonoscopy after 50.
No.
Why would you not?
Well, I'm going to explain. Thank you, Dave T. in Bowling Green, for the question. Okay, first of all, colonoscopy is a relatively new procedure, and they are invasive. Anytime they put something inside your body, it's considered invasive, number one. Number two, the gold standard has always been something called a fecal occult panel. And we've probably done this way before colonoscopies became all the rage. A fecal occult panel is something you do in the potty where you put you have a little thing called a blotter, and you put a little bit of your fecal matter on it and leaves the brown spot. You send it to the doctor. And the first thing they do is check it for markers of cancer.
Right.
Okay. So doing a colonoscopy after your doctor says, we found something suspicious in your fecal occult panel, or we found blood in your fecal occult panel, or we found cells that indicate there is a growth in you, in your they can test for all these things.
Right.
Now, the fecal occult panel costs insurance companies like $300, $175.
Okay.
The average colonoscopy costs between $2,000 and $4,000.
Right.
Number one. Now wait a minute, but that's not why to do it. I'm not saying do the cheap one because a colonoscopy should only be done after a fecal occult panel has been done and you are a candidate. Going for a colonoscopy ahead of time is like somebody saying, instead of checking your blood pressure, we're going to cut into your chest and see how your heart looks.
Okay, so get the test done. Again, consult your doctor on all this. Again, colonoscopy is nothing to mess with, and if you're over 50, you have to be aware of what's going on with your colon. More men die of that.
Well, there's one other thing you got to understand. A large number of people go in for routine colonoscopies and get a tear that ends up causing almost life-threatening events. This is not talked about.
Right.
And doctors will play it down. So get a fecal occult sample done first, and then, only and then, if you need one, a colonoscopy.
Okay, get the test first. Superhuman Television, thanks for joining us today. Live well past 100. That's the whole idea. He's Carl Lanore. I am Tony Vanetti. We'll see you next time right here at noon on WBNA. It's Superhuman Television.